And it's definitely not anything to do with well, it's
kind of.
I mean, but what podcast doesn't have mixed bag episodes?
Yeah,
like,
you don't get a mixed bag. That's
exactly what this
like,
episode is.
Like, do we have to talk about true crime all the time?
No, because it's our
Because we do what we want.
So if you got a problem with it,
Still watch it.
Still
watch it.
So
she sounded like a turkey.
So the question was, as far as like for prison, should we focus more on punishment or rehabilitation? Mm-hmm. And I kind of gave a little bit of my opinion, just like I feel like we need to make jail more uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that maybe by adding more of the punishment aspect of it to where we don't have, like you said, because most of the cases where we have these people with these long rap sheets where they've been in and out of jail, mm-hmm. or they never actually made it to prison. They just kind of were doing this back and forth with jail thing mm-hmm. or whatever. And I feel like if it was a little bit more, you know how they be trying to do the whole scared straight?
Oh, yeah.
If it was a little bit more that style,
I was waiting
then,
on you to know.
Yeah, like, I feel like we would have less cases of this person has done this, and that, and we kept letting them out, and then the 5th time we let them out, now all of a sudden they're a serial killer. So that's how I feel about it. I don't feel like it should be like, I feel like I'm gonna get a eye roll or something from Lou when I say this. I don't feel like it should be like cruel and unusual punishment.
No, it don't have to be cruel and unusual. I'm just saying.
Tie somebody up and tickle them with feathers.
No, I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying stop treating it so sweet. Like, again, why do you have Instagram? Why do y'all have like all these extra, like, if jail is supposed to be a punishment and you would punish your kid and take their cell phone away, then why are you in jail? Ooh. And the people got that's all
because technically people are bringing contraband into the prison. Like, I literally know people who have done this before.
Ooh.
They've taken them cell phones between them cheeks. Because when you... Okay, let me tell y'all. Okay, so... But y'all can chime in.
Not the butt phone.
Nobody wants your ass phone.
So, y'all can chime in on this. Question,
hello. So the question is, should prisons focus more on rehabilitation or punishment?
So let us know. But, so this is the thing. A lot of the times, nobody is technically allowed a cell phone in prison. Like, they're not. Well, from... up here in this area of what I know, you know, and then I was dating somebody that was a correctional officer before.
I thought you was about to say you was dating somebody who was, girl, you was somebody pen pal?
I ain't down that bad.
Wait. Freshman year of college.
Oh Lord, here we go. Story time.
Wait. This is a judgment-free zone.
She had a boo that was lying.
I did not have a boo.
Oh.
Okay, so here's the thing. Freshman year of college, my roommate, she was talking to a guy who was locked up.
Jesus Christ.
So...
Send a flood.
And if she sees this, girl, know I love you, but we've talked about this.
Oh,
so she was talking.
I don't know you, and I know she love you, so I'm not gonna talk about you that bad, but that's bad, girl.
So she was talking to this guy who was locked up, and so she was pen paling, like writing back and forth. Mm-hmm. And so one day she come to me and she go, yeah, he got a buddy in there that want to know if you can write. You know? And I was like,
Did y'all know it's an actual app for that?
Yeah.
You can write the prisoners, like, send them letters, go back and forth.
Is this a paying job?
No.
Nah, baby, I'm good.
So she was like, he basically got a friend for you type thing.
No, fuck off.
See, you don't need to connect me with your friends like that. Now, like, if your boy got a job, you got a job, y'all got jobs, I think I got something. Okay, talk to me about that. But don't talk to me about no criminal. Get away from me.
This is the down bad Olympics right now.
So I'm like, I don't know. And they like, well, he gonna write you a letter
Please don't.
and you decide what you want to do. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Whatever. Again, I'm young. I'm like 17. I'm like, okay.
Lord, your brain
I really didn't know how to say no at this time either. So I'm like, sure. And so he wrote me a letter. I don't remember anything the letter said. I don't even remember his name.
Dear Mary.
But wait, no, with Darla. I hate your freaking
like,
But no, so I don't remember anything that the letter said. I don't even remember his name. What I do remember was, in the letter, he had included a piece of paper and he had did like an artwork of my name.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
But it was so beautiful.
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh my God, he's so talented. Like, he just wrote Mary, but it was like very, very...
Bopper, please. Get her.
quit that.
You could have had a V8.
Iyanla, you are a hot mess. You are a hot mess.
But yeah, that's my story. So,
Quit that.
but that was the only time. Like, he wrote me, I never wrote back.
But his artwork was beautiful.
It was. I will never knock somebody for talent.
No, talent.
He ain't got nothing but time, so he had to have.
No, but maybe. Well, I don't know. I can take all the time in the world. If I sketch for you, you still get a stick figure.
Like,
it's gonna have a big head. It's gonna have a big eyeball.
like, and I would say like I said, I was young, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I think I might get this tattoo. I did not.
I just don't really. It's not even that it should or shouldn't be. I just don't know how effective rehabilitation is.
And I feel like in the setting, it's not effective because I'm going to say and do what I feel like you want me to say and do so I can get out of here.
But also...
So it's not saying that I don't think rehabilitation is possible, but I feel like when you're in that setting where all you're thinking of is how I'm going to get out, how I'm going to escape,
You're going to do whatever.
I feel like it's not effective.
But also prison too. Prison itself is another realm because a lot of them don't have the cleanest conditions in which they shouldn't. But like, you know, it's filthy. You know, it's a lot. And I'm not justifying anything, but I'm pretty sure it's already stressful enough being in prison.
Okay. Well, follow-up question.
Okay.
How do you feel about parole?
Baby.
So
okay, so there are situations, and I'm not saying that every single person that is in jail deserves to be there. I understand there are wrongly convicted people. I understand there are circumstances that lead you to make decisions. So there are situations where I do believe that parole is definitely valid. For example, an example.
not Yolanda Saldivar, and you supposed to be getting out in March. And then
No, that bitch ain't getting out.
She up for parole.
I hope they tell her no.
She gonna rot. And you know what? I don't think she ain't gonna make it.
So in regards to Gypsy
and the story and what actually happened versus what they covered.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of, like conversation around that on the whole, oh, well, she's a murderer and y'all are glamorizing it. And it's like, that's not what's happening at all. A lot of people that are speaking, I feel like they're not really looking into the details on what Gypsy actually had to go through. She was abused. She was a victim of abuse. And she defended herself against her abuser. Yep. And I think where a lot of the anger comes in is because of the person she got to kill her mother, because he is on the autism spectrum, and they're like, oh, you got somebody mentally disabled, and
but she was mentally slow a little bit too.
Yeah, she was delayed.
Had a child,
yes,
demeanor because of how
her mother
had isolated her. She didn't interact with peers of her age. Because she didn't even know how old she was. Her dad couldn't even tell her on her 18th birthday.
He called and the mother told him, hey, don't mention her age. She thinks she's only 14.
Oh.
And it was her 18th birthday.
Yeah. That's out of
like, that's insane. And so I feel, but again, talking about, the guy who committed the murder. He was on the autism spectrum and things like that, but he also, because that he was actually upset that Gypsy wouldn't let him rape the mother before he killed her.
I don't know that he was necessarily upset about it, because the way he said it in the interview was like he was gonna do it, but then he, like, she said no, he didn't seem upset.
No, he just seemed like kind of like that bothered him.
Yeah, it's weird. That was weird.
And
the fact that Gypsy was like, well, she was just gonna let him rape her, and I'm like, do you know how desperate you have to be? How desperate you have to be that you are going to allow someone to perform such a heinous act to you just so you can get away from your torment.
So I feel like in that case, Gypsy served her time.
And how many years did she get?
She was in there like
almost. She got 10 years. She served 8.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a conspiracy to murder, so I get it.
And she was in the home when the murder
And she was
happened.
in the
Yeah.
right.
So she got 10 years. She served 8. She got out on parole. But
Is
you
he
know,
out of jail?
no,
When does he get out?
I don't even think he got an opportunity for parole.
He didn't get an opportunity for parole,
Because he carried the crime out.
but that's still kind of harsh.
I mean, but it goes back to the whole Kwame
Yeah.
with how the guy who did the murder
That
got
airs
more
tomorrow.
years than Kwame, even though he was the one
But
that.
as far as Kwame, his mama wasn't beating him.
I know, but I'm just
Him.
saying.
It's a few facts on here. Like, Gypsy said she was sexually assaulted by her grandfather. Gypsy was addicted to painkillers, even in prison.
Oh, so what I was saying was that her mom gave her so many different medications that the medications actually ended up to where her teeth were rotting, and so she had to have like all of her teeth pulled out. Her mom she had to get a feeding tube, which when she was perfectly fine of eating on her own. And so like I blame the mother, but then also these doctors.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Can we
why did
talk-
you
Because
step in?
she,
But
I think they
let's
said
pause.
she had like 30 procedures.
But let's pause. Let's go back to that doctor, because I don't know if y'all watched the.
Oh, the one doctor who thought something was up.
In his medical record of the mother, he said that she was a bad historian, that she was not an accurate medical historian. So if that's where you start at, excuse me, doctor, who has taken a Hippocratic oath that you will first do no harm. If you already know you starting out with a liar.
He said he talked to somebody else.
You lie about
And they
little
told
shit.
him that
Don't lie about
because
big shit.
whatever, like because she wasn't his patient anymore or something like that, he wasn't required to report her.
Yes, he was.
And it's like, yes, you were. Yes, you were. And so I feel like
That's where
Gypsy was failed by so many people.
Oh yeah. I think her
And you know,
dad
people want to
feels
blame the dad.
worst.
Yeah, but he was young. He was 17 when he got Gypsy's mother pregnant. And I think she was like 20
And they got
something.
married, right?
Yeah, she was like 20 something. And they got married, and then when they split, she started moving all around, wouldn't let him see Gypsy. And so it's like, yeah, she.
And also to talk about that too, like father's rights are not what father's rights should be. Now I'm not talking women who have deadbeat dads. I ain't talking about that. I am talking about men who are out here, regardless if you're with the mother, that want to do the right thing by their kids. Sometimes their rights are overlooked.
Yeah.
They are discounted, and that's not right either.
Yeah. I completely agree. There's a lot of weight put on the fact that the mother, you know, carried the child around and gave birth. And it's like, yes, that is correct. There should be a lot of weight on that. But I feel like it shouldn't take away from the fact that it takes two to make a baby. And there are fathers out there, like, you know, the way that media puts it out there and the way they say these things, they want you to think that there are no men out there who want to be that they're all deadbeats. That if a man isn't a part of his child's life, it's because he chose that, you know, like that's what they want you to believe, when we know that that's not 100% the case. At the end of the day, there are men out there that do want to be a part of their kids' lives, but like you said, they don't have the same rights, or their rights don't hold the same weight as the mothers.
Yep.
She good.
Top three songs from the 90s.
Just trying to get that away from me.
What's your favorite 3 songs from the 90s?
No, it's too hard. Like what type of genre?
Any?
R&B.
Okay. Top 3 songs from the 90s R&B.
What's that? Hold on. I don't know if that was. Let me see. I don't want to sound stupid.
I got one for you, but I don't know if it's the 90s.
Which one?
Cupid 112.
Is that? I feel like that might be like early 2000s. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see.
I used to love that song.
Keep it tonight. Any other, you give it a try. Yes, that's exactly what it says. Oh no, that is 90s.
Okay.
It was 1996.
I got one.
All right. I'm trying to make sure that when I say this song that it was. Let me see.
Oh, I got one more for you since we doing songs. I gave you some boys, and I'm gonna give you some girls, and I think it's in the 90s.
I don't.
In Vogue.
Oh, it came out in 94.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay, it's TLC's "Digging on You." Digging on me, digging on me.
First of all, while we on it, the entire Crazy Sexy Cool album.
The whole album was fire.
The entire album.
Okay.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Okay, but you said In Vogue.
In Vogue, the never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it.
Okay, I got one. I got one. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. Yes.
That was a good one.
Yes. Love me some Tevin.
Okay, another top 3. And y'all can chime in on this too. What is your top 3 songs of the 90s?
90s R&B.
90s R&B.
Okay, so I have one more.
Okay.
So we got 3. This is my last one, and they are R&B, but they are foreign. So Les Nubians.
Okay.
It's called La Musique. Have you heard that? La Musique, what is song?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. See, you made me. Okay, hold on.
I think they're Haitian, actually.
What you got, Kalina?
I got H-Town knocking boots.
Somebody rocking.
Knocking the boots.
Yeah. Okay, so I got one.
Okay.
I think it was the 90s. It has to be. But it was Boys to Men, Motown Philly. Boys to Men.
Back
again. Do a little East Coast sway.
Hey.
What's up, going on?
Not too hard and not too soft. Hey.
Because that's what it sounded like.
Okay. My El DeBarge.
Sorry, I'm just so
El DeBarge, I like it.
I like.
Yes.
Okay.
I like.
I got one.
Okay.
By Nyx.
Okay.
Too close.
Okay. That's very 90s. Such a nasty song.
Yeah, you know what? When you look back on certain songs, you just like,
Y'all was.
Now, girl, I know you felt it. Oh, I know I can't help
I'm like, sir,
it.
that is sexual
Like,
harassment.
sir, get your penis off my back. Yeah, there's some nasty songs. They got the nerve. Nah, I can't even say that no more. Now, back when I was in like high school, I could say that. I'd be like, and they got the nerve to talk about the songs we listen to. The songs that's out now is a whole nother.
So I will say.
There's like, at least back in the day, there used to be some kind of like, we gonna have it a little bit.
I feel like
We gonna make it catchy.
y'all remember Cedar's World?
Girl, yeah.
Cedar, baby.
Right.
Oh, the 90s.
Good 90s.
What you got?
Genuine pony.
Oh, Jesus.
was going to see a man about a horse.
And that daggone man Kate, oh my goodness. You know, when it was the 90s, like, I guess he could kind of dance or something. I don't know. But, like, now what is going on?
That video that went viral.
Where he got on stage?
He was,
No, dude.
Girl.
He looked like Quagmire.
I'm telling you, he was straight like.
The nigga looked like Quagmire. And it made me so mad.
Go find that
It
video.
pissed me off so fucking bad.
Wait. Brandy, I want to be down.
Yes.
I wanna be down.
Yes.
With what you're going through.
Now, hold on. Think about that. I don't want to be down with what you
I
going
want to
through.
be down with you.
Yeah. I could be.
the time.
No, see that.
A
That's
day or night, it's true.
Hey.
I want to be down.
But I'm saying I'm a ride or die, but I ain't gonna be riding down with some bullshit.
Oh, wait,
I would like to
get to know if I could be the kind of girl that you could be down for. 'Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell me that you're the kind of girl that I should make a move on. Brandy?
Yes, Brandy.
Wait though. This is how we do it.
This bitch saying I'm stupid.
It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my
Now,
voice
if we
and
talk
I
about
turn it up.
R&B though, we talk about 90s, and I know y'all probably gonna roast my ass, but I don't give a shit. We can't talk about the 90s and R&B.
Are you about to say?
Without talking about the king who hails from Chicago, who is sitting his ass in jail where she belongs.
Oh, God.
But now listen, I'ma just tell y'all, ain't nothing like an R. Kelly R&B song. I'm just gonna say it. Half of these people we talking about, y'all wouldn't even have their songs without Aura. Just facts.
Well,
I can't say nothing because I'm not gonna argue with facts, but I'm.
My thing is if we gonna cancel the music, then we gotta cancel all the pussy stuff.
No, nobody ever said we was canceling the music. We canceling him.
Yeah, we can cancel him. We can cancel him, but his music stay. His music is to stay. Cause I don't care. We just gonna step in the name of love, people.
Okay.
Stay.
Running around, dip it down.
Simply bring you back and let me see you do. Nah, I don't mess with him. I don't mess with that
I don't
dude.
fuck with you.
I'ma just say it's still in my playlist.
Look, the money in it.
She ain't going through it.
Yeah, I was a big TLC fan.
Yeah, I'm a TLC too.
Rest in peace, left us.
Girl,
Let's talk about divorce.
Jesus Christ. I thought we was gonna sing all the way around and did not even have to touch it, but we gonna go there today. We doing it. Let me take a sip. Let's see what y'all got to say. We're gonna take comments.
No.
Whatever y'all want to talk about.
So we're talking about divorce.
I know for divorces.
You said you're a no for divorces?
Yes, I don't.
Why are you a no for divorce?
Yes, I don't want to have a divorce. I never want. If I get married, I don't want to go through nothing where I would have to.
Yeah.
Get a divorce.
I feel you. My second marriage gonna be my only marriage.
I don't.
I think
Exactly.
that no
Because
one
my
ever
first one
goes-
don't count because I was a little slow.
I think that no one ever goes in with the intention of I'm going to
get
divorce you,
divorced,
but
yeah,
then
but
you
it happens.
are with the person and then things.
Well, we just gonna be some
change.
separated fools.
I disagree.
You think so?
I feel like there are some people that go into the marriage with the thought of I'm going to divorce this person, but they don't want to admit it. There are people that go into situations of I'm gonna get married, but there is that voice whispering
Like
that
it's
you
not
know
right.
this is not gonna work out
Okay.
because they already doing nonsense. In my case,
People don't want to be alone.
it wasn't even that for me. It was pride for me. We had been together. It was the weekend of the wedding. We were driving out here because this is where the wedding was, and we got into a very like heated but dumb argument. And I had the thought of, I don't want to marry this person. I had the thought of, I really don't want to do this. But my pride, and I've grown, I've done the therapy and stuff to where I can admit it. My pride has gotten me to the point where, or my pride at that point was, I didn't send these invitations out. People done already flew in for this wedding. Everything is paid for. And I don't want to be the person that has to announce, oh, the wedding is off. Like, there was shame. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to push through and maybe it'll work out. But before the wedding, during the wedding, and even after the wedding, during the reception, and even after the reception, I had like nothing but doubts.
Oh my God.
I had
So
nothing but doubts.
Had anyone you could talk to about how you felt?
I feel like I did. My best friend at the time, I had expressed to her how I was feeling. And she was, she was very much so like, hey, you ain't got to do it. Me and you go ahead, like, I kidnap you, like, everything would be cool. But again, it was that pride and that shame that kicked in of, I don't want to have to explain to people. And again,
Which
I was at,
debilitating.
yeah, and I wasn't at a point where I felt like I still hadn't learned how to say no.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I went into the marriage knowing that this wasn't going to last. But I also went into the marriage of, I'm going to try and do everything I can to make it last. Because I wanted to prove myself wrong.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like, I was in a very, like, messed up mind space. But, like, I did the whole, I'm going to be submissive. I did that. And so I misunderstood what submissive was. I thought it was what social media and all of these Kevin Samuel groupies was putting out there of what submissive was. But a woman submits to her husband when she knows that her needs and wants are going to be taken care of. They love to throw in the scripture verse of, it says that wives submit to your husbands, forgetting that the verses before that say, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Christ died for the church. And some men out here won't even open the door for their wife. But you want me to submit to you. So I had the wrong thought, like the wrong idea of what submission was. But, I was portraying that definition of what social media said. And what my husband at the time said that submission was. And it made me miserable because I thought that meant that I couldn't state my opinion, or I had to just take stuff on the chin, or I had to deal with stuff that I didn't necessarily want to deal with. And so I'm a person where I have no regrets.
Because it was all for something.
Yes.
No regrets.
And yep. No regrets right across my chest. It made me the person that I am today. And it led me to the life that I'm living today, and I am happy today in every aspect of life. So I don't have any regrets.
Okay. So I think what people don't realize, like when it comes to divorce, people don't understand the mental anguish that you are in when you make that decision to end a relationship, especially if it was a long relationship, even short, because you could have endured so much in a short amount of time. And like me, I was with somebody for 13 years. So it's just like, you have to really be pushed to that point where you just like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, you have to have like this audit within yourself that's like, can I tolerate this person another year? Can I put up with this another 5 years? Can I see myself being happy with this person for 10 years? Like, people confuse, like you said, with that whole submissive thing. Like, people do forget the verses before that. And people always think like, oh, the man has to lead, has to do this, has to do that. I feel like in a relationship, it needs to be equal. Like, both people can be leaders. And I know y'all want to fight me because I know y'all like to tussle, but I'm just saying, I feel like both people can equally lead in a relationship. So when one person falls short, you know, that other person's, I'm picking you up. I got you.
Can I say something on that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like both people need to lead, because I feel like if we both trying to lead, we not gonna go nowhere.
No, like,
I feel
like
I feel like this might be like what you're meaning.
Okay.
That for the man to be the lead, it doesn't mean that what the woman has to say doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, as a man, as a husband, you are still supposed to take into account what your wife is saying, because your wife is there. You brought her in as your partner, as you know, as your confidant so her opinion matters and what she thinks matters. Mm-hmm. And so to have a successful team, you need to have a man who is willing and able to lead, and a wife who's able to follow, but also a wife who is able to because like you said, you are gonna have his back.
Mm-hmm. Pick up where you slack at.
Exactly. And so I feel like, again, that's another one of those definitions that have been changed by social media standards of what it means for a man to lead.
Yeah.
But divorce does cause anguish. You know, some people do think that it's just like a simple choice of, you dealt with so much and now you finally done, girl. Woo.
It ain't even it. You go through like periods of, you have sadness, you can't say
death.
Yeah, it's
you're grieving. You're grieving.
It's honestly a death. Like, from what I have noticed and witnessed from friends who have gone through it and knowing what relationships feel like when they end. Mm-hmm. When you are tied with someone, you know, physically, spiritually, all those things, you have created a life together, and you know, it can go from all types of facets where it may just be you guys, or it can be kids involved, it can be families involved. It is a death, and that is like, you know, you make these vows to one another, you make these vows before God, and it is an ending and a death of a life.
Yeah, and even that, the spiritual aspect of it, that was one part where I really struggled, was because, you know, we heard things growing up of, God doesn't do divorce. You're not supposed to get divorced.
He don't want you to be
that's what I'm saying. Like, this was another one of those things of a piece of the Bible taken and twisted to teach the lesson that you wanted to teach, rather than what was actually there. You know, in the Bible, it even talks about certain instances where divorce is seen as okay. And, you know, it took that talking to my pastor and having those conversations, and he was like, God didn't put you on this earth to be miserable. Like, that's not why he created you.
He didn't put you here to be abused.
Yeah.
He didn't put you here for any of that.
And so it took those conversations, and it took me, I had to get past that mental anguish. I had to get past that spiritual blockage that was happening with me to finally make the decision that was best for, I feel like, everybody in the situation at that time.
So when you made the choice, like I heard you talking about the choice to get married and the days leading up to it, do you feel like that choice was just as difficult for you coming out of it as it was going into your relationship?
Yes, because it was still shame and pride. I had made the choice of divorce long before, I won't say long before, but a while before we had actually got separated and then actually got a divorce. I had made up in my mind, like, this is just, it was probably like 2 months before it happened, where I was like, it's coming. I could see it coming, but I held it off, one, because I had just had a kid. And, but I think, you know how some people, they have that whole mindset of I'm gonna make it work for the kids. I'm gonna stick it out for the kids. I had my kid and I was like, I don't want my kid to see this and think this is what love is.
Yeah.
And that was the push I needed.
The choice.
Yeah.
Now yours was kind of different, right? I mean, in your situation, it sounds like you kind of went in kind of knowing your partner was not your partner.
Yeah.
Your partner was kind of fucked up.
So for me, when we had first got together, my mom had died 2 years before that.
Okay.
So I was kind of like not in a great mental headspace. I was still grieving. Like that's still fresh.
Yeah.
2 years after losing your mom is still relatively fresh. But like, you know, I met somebody and then I felt like, okay, we gonna see where this goes. But at the same time, I was too blind to realize like the red flags that were apparent because my mental was so fucked up. Like it was just so like, okay, I'm basically finding some type of refuge in
Comfort
me
in this.
feeling like shit these last 2 years. And it was like, okay, let's just see. Maybe this is happening to me because I deserve to be happy. I deserve to move past that. But the thing is even though I saw a lot of the red flags, I fell in love with the potential of who he could have been
And not him.
and not him. And this is not to discredit him. This is not to call him a bad guy. This is not to talk shit. Honestly, like the more we grew was the more I was just like, this ain't gonna work for me. And it's like you do have all your viable options. Let's go to therapy, you know, let's try to work this out, you know. But it was just like a multitude of things that we were not on the same page about. But before we got married, I was forewarned about, but I still felt like ain't nothing gonna fuck up my happiness because I deserve this, you know. People just getting in your ear. But when people, it was one of the things that happened was we had gotten into a fight, like, and it wasn't even just a regular fight. It was a physical altercation. This was like 2 weeks before the wedding. And you know, you got those super religious family members and that ain't nothing but the devil trying to attack what y'all doing. That ain't nothing but this. And you just like,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, we gonna roll with that.
That's what it
We
is.
gonna roll with.
The enemy.
And it's just like, you know, in counseling, before we got married, you know, the pastor did tell us, shout out to him, you know, shout out to him. But he like did tell us, you have to learn how to keep your family out of your relationship business.
Because you know what? That's a whole topic on it.
That's a whole nother
We'll touch on that one next time.
Another divorce. Like, everybody's reasons for divorce ain't gonna be the same. No two are alike, but it's also you are making the toughest decision of your life. So it's like when you file for divorce, because I know when I filed for my divorce, I felt like shit. I did. Like, I'm just like, it's scary because you don't know how this person is gonna react to this. So I tried to make sure everything was just as quiet as possible. I was not that type of person to get you served at your job, you know, just had a letter sent to the house and we'll discuss it from there. People don't talk much about that because one, you kind of scared because you don't know how that person is gonna react to getting that letter. When they see that, you know, they open it up.
Of course, it's angering.
Yeah, and it's very angering because it's like, damn, you didn't even say nothing, you know.
See, in my case, we had the conversation.
Yes, and we had the conversation 2 years prior, but it's kind of like, oh, you know, she not talking about it no more, so it's kind of like, let me sweep this under the rug.
We very much sat together and was like, so divorce? And he's like, yeah, divorce. I'm like, cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And then once we got to the details of the divorce, you know, when we were talking about my son, when it came down to anything, he was like, I just don't want to pay child support. And so we did a non-contested divorce. I filled out all the papers. I wrote myself as the sole legal guardian. I mailed him a copy of these papers because he had moved by this time. I mailed him a copy of the papers. I told him like, hey, they're gonna be coming in the mail. You just gotta sign them, mail them back. He signed. He was like, okay. He signed them, mailed them back.
Going back to the whole thing, like reacting to how things happen within the thing of the divorce, like what, like who gets what visitation, who gets what, and it's just like when you like straightforward, like legit, like as I'm going through filling out the paper, I'm just like, no, you know, we don't have to share, because we already, I know some people when they get married, they're like, your debt is my debt, and my debt is your debt.
Nah, we had created debt together, and all that debt went to me.
Yeah, and so with us, we had always operated like, I'm not putting a burden on you that I already walked into this marriage with. And we only thing that we had together was just like, you know, regular household bills and expenses. Okay, so I was like, no, you know, his debt ain't my debt and my debt ain't his debt. So let's, you know, we got that off. Then of course they ask you like, are you pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant. Is somebody serving in the military? You know, random questions like that. But it was also like when we got to the date of the hearing, like she said, because everything during COVID, it was Zoom.
Yeah.
And so one, I'm already embarrassed because I am heartbroken right now. I feel like I have a frog in my throat. I feel like I just want to have a mental breakdown, but it was kind of like seeing, like we were in the same house the same time as the hearing. He was in another room and I was in the kitchen, and it was just like you feel like you like, oh, like you just like, oh shit, like this is really happening. And so one, your spouse is angry at you and you just sitting here shouldering it on. So it's like I had to mentally push myself through this, like, be strong, don't cry, you got this, it's okay, you know, you're not in danger, you know, and if something happens, somebody knows who did, you know. Yeah. And so I was just like, okay. And like I just kept like, you're not supposed to have anything like on the hearing, like you act like you in court, but I'm just drinking water trying to calm my nerves. And so like the judge, they ask you the questions, they ask your spouse the same questions, and then it's just like, you know, the state we live in, it's a tort state. They don't care about who is at fault. They don't care about, oh, you did this to me, you did this to me, you did that to me. They don't
if you got this while y'all were married, you have to split it.
Yes.
If you had it before you were married, once you got married, you have to split it.
And I was
Indiana
so
for you.
Happy like with the way things turned out, because I was like, listen, I don't want nothing from this man. I don't want anything. I was like, only thing that I want is my last name restored, and that's literally what I put on the paper. Restore my name. I didn't ask for, you know, spousal support. You know, we both had decent jobs, you know, so it's just like I didn't want nothing from him. I want you to be free. I want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. But I'm just like, I can't do this. Like every day I'm like, I can't do this. So even in the hearing, I was just like, okay, I'm closing my eyes. I'm like, you can do this. It's almost over. It's like 20 minutes to get divorced. And that was the hardest 20 minutes of my life. I'm not even BSing you. You just like, shit. So the judge is reading everything to you. They ask your spouse the same questions, you know? And then it got a little difficult because it's just like, you trying to throw in things like, she did this or she said this and this. They don't care.
Nope.
They do not care. What you here for? Let's get this done and over with.
Now, you said that there were other people that were on this meeting. So other people are just watching your
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And that made it so when you answer the questions, you ask them incorrectly, the judge is not trying to make you feel slow, but it's also like they trying to, let me explain this to you like you 5, because I think you missing the question. And now you feel like you were slow in front of all these other people. It was like 50 other people on my call.
It was a lot of couples.
It was divorces. It was traffic. It was child support.
We didn't have any traffic. It was all family related, but it was like either like custody battles or divorces or anything like that. Like it was that, like, and it was multiple couples on there. Like, and I'm telling you, I I think I was probably like the 10th couple.
I was the second one, and I was just like, bro, let's just get this over with. And then they say you can stay on or you free to drop off the call once everything is done and over with. When I tell you, I'm in my house and he shut off the computer. I shut my laptop. It was cold in here. This was in October. It was cold. Like the heat was on. Cold. Dead silence in here. Like it sounded like crickets. And I'm like, okay. So he walked out of the guest bedroom and went into our room. I too was trying to go into the bedroom because I was trying to get my purse so I could leave. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he knew that I was behind him, but in my house, my hallway is not that big, clearly. Mm-hmm. So you hear footsteps behind you, and the door just slammed right in my face. Right in my face. And I'm like, I know that you were angry. You have every right to be angry. I am not here to tell you don't be angry at me. But I'm just like, I felt like that was God that was just like,
it was confirmation.
That chapter is closed. It's dead. Let it go. Yep. Keep moving. Like it was a slam. And I'm like damn near about to get a nosebleed with how, close I was to the door. And I'm just like, okay. And I didn't say, don't slam no motherfucking. I didn't start a fight. I got my purse. I got my jacket. I got my keys. And I left the house. Like, and you dead on the inside for a couple days. And then you just worry, like, will he do something to me? And no, he's not that type of guy. And even if he come across this episode of this podcast, I don't think you're a bad guy. But
your relationship was done.
It was done. It was done. And I don't hate him. Now, like, a new year rolled by. I'm writing in my journal. I'm just like, this is how this year going to be. And I look back and I was like, shit. Yeah. I've been divorced almost 3 years. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, how did I manage? And you look back and you're like, because you're doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't just get divorced and be like,
that's it. We already said you're grieving.
Yeah.
You are grieving. It's a loss. It's a death of something. Yeah. And so you are grieving. And I think, like, I didn't have, like, during my divorce, like, I didn't have as heavy of an emotion. Like, after, like, I think, like, up until the divorce, I was just kind of like, I'm just so ready to get this done. Like, I had already had my moment of, oh my gosh, I've lost this, da-da-da-da-da. But I was like, I'm ready to get this done. I'm ready to get this done. And it was like after the judge was like, all right, you are officially back to marry, and I was like,
oh, shit.
Oh, that was real. That happened.
That happened. So, and it's weird because it's like at first you can't even accept it because you like, I went by this last name for so long. You just like, that's it. Yeah. Like you felt nothing. Like you didn't feel like, oh, a sigh of relief. You just felt nothing. Like you just like stone face. And your healing process don't even start immediately right there. The next couple of days you just like, I'm divorced. Yeah. Like,
and it goes into and it goes back into that whole, the shame factor of it that I feel like society has put on it. Like, my biggest thing was like, dang, I'm only 20. I think I was 27, 28. I'm like, hey, I'm 28 and divorced. I'm 28 and been married and divorced already.
Yeah.
And this was around the time when Kevin Samuels had became popular. Mm-hmm. And all of that talk was going on, and they're talking about the value of a woman, and if you're a single mother, and all this stuff,
and odds stacked against you.
I was like, damn.
So I'm not gonna say that everything that Kevin Samuels said was garbage.
No.
But one thing that definitely did disturb me about how he described and explained women in their different stages of age, of their value, or what he considered as value, it almost was like so many steps back into what women have endured from the beginning of time. And I'm sorry, I guess I'm a feminist. I'm a feminist in some respects, not super extreme.
I'm a feminist adjacent. No.
Right, adjacent. But I'm sorry, for me it is a big problem when you talk about women as value, just like I don't think that you should talk about men as value.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe it's a very naive way to think, but I think that how someone treats you and how someone is with you is very much so important versus what they look like or what they should be. Because I don't think that someone being divorced changes their value as a person.
Absolutely.
I don't think that someone having children and being divorced and then looking for a relationship makes them less valuable. It is absolutely absurd. It is absurd to talk about any woman in a way of value, and it's actually very demeaning. It is demeaning as a person to speak of someone as valuable or not valuable, because everyone is actually valuable. And like, to me, as a black man talking about women in that way, it actually is even worse.
It used to grind my gears.
No, you know why? Because think about how long black people have been talked about and treated as objects of value.
By every other race.
By every other race. I don't need my own race doing that to me too. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that whole terminology just should be removed. Period.
Alright. So we're gonna end on a higher note, I guess.
Mixed bag.
We're gonna end with one more. Am I the asshole?
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
Am I the asshole
Okay.
for not allowing my ex's daughter to come over my house anymore because of her mother's accusations?
Ooh, Lord. What was mama accusing?
Wait.
That's a hard part.
Run that back.
Am I the asshole for not allowing my ex's daughter to come over to my house anymore because of her mother's accusations?
It depends on the accusations.
It depends on the accusations. It depends on how old this child is. It depends on a lot of things. That's a hard one to just say you an asshole and not an asshole.
Okay.
It's a topic.
So, I, male, 40 years old, was with my ex, Deb, female, 41 years old, for about 5 years. We share 4 children, currently aged 8. They're twins, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. Deb also has a daughter who is 18. Although I never actually lived at Deb's, I used to give her most of my wage to help pay for rent and food. Around 3 years ago, while we were on a break, I get a call at around 8 a.m. from Deb's daughter telling me that Deb has left the house overnight and not returned. So I came over and stayed with them during the day at Deb's house. At around 11 a.m., bailiffs arrived to repossess the house because Deb hadn't been paying rent for over a year.
Oh my God.
Damn.
So wait a minute, she gonna leave her kids in there to get evicted like that?
Turns out she was a secret coke addict and spent all of the rent money on drugs.
Oh baby.
She knew the bailiffs were coming that day, and that's why she left without telling anyone.
That's wild.
As the current situation stands, I have custody of my 4 children. Deb lives with her dad, and Deb's daughter lives with her uncle. Deb gets 3 hours with them on Saturdays under the supervision of her brother, as I trust him. Since the split, Deb's daughter has been a huge help to me, helping out with looking after her sisters. She would stay at my house 2 or 3 days a week in the spare bedroom as it was near her school. We have monthly meetings with social services, which include me, Deb, and our children's school reps. In these meetings, Deb has resorted to saying anything to try and make me look bad in front of socials. About 3 months ago, Deb said that me and her daughter were having sexual relations, which started when she was 15.
Listen to no damn crackhead. Now come on now.
Oh, damn.
She said that her daughter had told her but would never admit it to anyone else. Everyone at the meeting has told me they don't believe it, as Deb has a history of lying, but police had to be made aware as per protocol due to the seriousness of it. It led to an informal chat with police that came to nothing. This spooked my sister, who said it's inappropriate for me to have an 18-year-old girl who isn't related to me staying over at my house. And even though I've known her since she was 10, I can't put myself at risk, as my own children must take priority over her. I have since gone no contact with her.
That's just how it's gotta be.
I told her uncle why she could no longer come over, and he understood. Deb's daughter rang me nonstop until I blocked her. The reason for this post is she came around my house last night wanting to speak to me and crying, saying that it wasn't her fault and she hadn't done anything wrong. Why is she being punished? She doesn't want to see her sisters once a week like her mom. I had to call her uncle to come and take her. He asked me to reconsider, but my sister is adamant that I should have no contact with her. I feel like my own kids must take priority at the moment. She still gets to see her sisters when they go to their uncles, albeit less often. It's just me she has no contact with. Am I the asshole for not allowing Deb's daughter to come around to my house anymore or speak to me at all?
You're doing what you have to do to protect yourself. If there was no merit found on any of the abuse allegations, yes, it's not that girl's fault because she never said that. That was her mother. But the fact is that that thought has been put into the atmosphere. And you have to operate in that manner. Like, it's some of the things that I've said about people who have accusations against them. For example, OJ. Yes, we know he killed that woman and he got away with it. But when you go back later on and you see his behaviors that he commits afterwards that do get him sent to jail, he should have been smarter. You literally got away with murder, dude. You don't never do nothing else bad again. You keep your nose clean. Even if it looked like you out here like just being really ridiculous. You don't do anything that jeopardizes your safety. Like, he's doing the right things to protect himself. And it's hard on her, but that ain't his fault. Like, what's gonna happen if he go to jail?
I feel like I get it from both aspects of it because, as we said, the girl didn't do anything and she's the most stable thing that he's the most stable thing that she's had. You know, obviously her mom sucks.
Yeah, she sucks big
and
time.
This has been dad to her since the age of 10, which most girls, that's when we start coming into a lot of different emotions and stuff. And so from 10 to 18, you've been my dad. And now because my mom is a piece of crap, I can no longer see my sisters when I want to. And I can't be around the only supportive parent figure that I have. And so I feel like nothing came from the accusations. The girl is now 18. So even if the mother was to say, oh, they're having sexual relations now, legally nothing can be done.
Yeah.
Because the girl is 18. She's an adult.
But how long is statutory, like, what are the limitations on statutory?
But again, there was no evidence and nothing came from that.
But if there's accusations that come forward, just because nothing came from it then doesn't mean that nothing can come from it now.
But it doesn't seem like if the daughter isn't saying any of these things or like for there to be a case of some sort, she would have to testify or give her testimony and say, yeah, this is what happened to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And she's not in any mindset of doing that. She's just like, I just want to be around my sisters. I want to be able to see them more than 3 hours a week.
So are you thinking that he believes that the girl actually said it to her mom?
No, I think that he is more focused. I think his sister is
his opinion.
Yes. And but I say I understand it both ways because you definitely, you know, have that mindset of I got to do what's best for my kids. So that's why I'm like I can understand it from both aspects.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Huh. The things that people go through, man.
And that'll wrap it up. Please go like and subscribe on the YouTube.
Hello.
Go follow us. We're on all listening platforms. Murked in the Midwest. You can email us at murkedinthemidwest@gmail.com. Bye.